Hello everyone, good morning. Hello Mifa. Hi Third Window, how are you? Today we're gonna do some Shogi book reading. It's a little bit difficult book, but if you're from Game Grammar, I'm pretty sure you will recognize this whole kanji thing. We're gonna be reading this. We're gonna continue our topic, which was making an escape route for our king. It was part of our life extension technique in Endgame. You're good to hear that. And yeah, the funny part was I just realized how many drawings we did last week. We had the final boss king with the sword. We had what was that even? Oh, the moving company, right? The king escaping. The Ponyta. Okay, it's a fire horse. It reminds me of the Pokemon Ponyta. And Stabby talking, chasing the king. Don't leave me, king holding the gold. And we are counting how many moves to mate it was taking for our king. Like how much life he has left. And then we were trying to extend it at least by one move. Out of my way! We had all those moves to mate. We had the dragon being distracted by a snack sacrifice, snack distraction. We had good and bad king. Oh yeah, that was a thing that we were discussing, which king, because there are two kanji that describe a king, which is the king general and king jewel. We decided that king jewel is the evil one and king general is the good one. I've watched you present that hat to crying girl on that show. Yeah, thank you. That was quite a long time ago, before COVID, before everything, right? Good times. Not like now. That now it's not a good time, but yeah. Then we had the king. I will remember you. Fly away in the distance when the stabby talking and the dragon comes to murder the remains of the castle. Yeah. Then yeah, castle broken, but we survived. We had the eject button. We had the create escape route by digging out. Yeah, we dig out the escape route. Evacuation point 84 secured. Yeah, we had this talking, helping our king evacuation, right? And then we had, yeah, some more middle game type of tactic. Evacuation plan once more. And this one was the weak point of the evacuation, of the escape, which is the sealing of the escape route. Yeah, we try to create, they try to seal it off, they try to pull your king by the leg back. Yeah, if I were to draw, I would draw this dragon holding the king leg in his mouth, and no, you're not going anywhere. This is where we sacrifice the dragon, and the trick was not to take the dragon and basically run away. Run for your life. And we stopped before those practical examples because we like to do it to like remind ourselves what we did last time. So we're gonna jump into them. Guys, if you have any questions so far, please ask me. Practical examples contain computer playing against each other, actually. And this is from the 81st World Computer Championship. They call it World Computer Championship, but let's not lie, it's mostly Japanese like computers or software engineers that attend those. It's like we called it World Shogi Championship in Europe, but yeah, all the pros are sitting in Japan. Same logic. 24. Let's see, what do we have here? We have a king in the middle. We have the king in the a little bit of our defensive pieces over here. It's kind of under attack by this bishop and this gold. We have bishop, 2 knights, 2 lances. So we have a lot of material. We just need to survive, right? So what we gonna do? If we were to defend in this situation, yeah, left side is broken, right? If we were to defend in this situation, maybe lance drop. 7-8 will help us. But then they're gonna push this pawn. Pawn takes. Gold will go here, making an open check with the bishop. We're gonna drop another lance. And then they actually have the knight, right, in hand, so they're gonna drop it and attack bottom lance like this, double attack. And yeah, because of that, double attack, this lance going to die, de facto this lance going to die, so it's like we lost 2 lances for nothing. So that's not a good defense. So instead, guys, what would you be your idea? The answer is completely on the screen, but what would you think would be the good move here? If only we had freelances. I don't think freelances would have helped us this much, though. Like, just to like seriously answer your question, Toad, your point, Toad, if we were to drop another lance here, there's this pawn promotion, right? So it wouldn't have helped us. Black tea. I've been drinking this tea with bergamot. I don't know what a bergamot is. Maybe I should Google that. Bergamot. Is it like... That's in German probably too, so haha. Tea. Bergamot, it's called. What's a bergamot? Oh, it's typically made from black tea leaves and the fruit of the citrus bergamia tree. Okay, so does that explain the citrus taste? Okay, I like it. So it's about creating an escape route, guys. Remember life extension? We talked about CER, create escape route. So I gave you kind of a hint as well. I said the king is a little bit off from those defenders. And if you remember what we had drawn, sorry, that was 2 weeks ago, we had this king that's desperately clinging to the gold, right? That's kind of what we want to do right now. Yeah. The gold is like this girlfriend that wanna break up with you, and the king is like you trying to cling to her. Yeah. I don't know why I said you. It was supposed to be non-personal, but hey, English not my first language. Now we made it personal. Page 11, page 11. What? P11 equals P11. What? Are you talking about my Gangi notes? Because in my Gangi notes, I would write P11 as page 11, yes. Oh, no, part 11. So it's part 11. We had 11 streams about this book so far. This page is 152 out of 261. So, yeah. We do like 90% of a chapter per stream. Yeah, but according to the zipper on my right, we are like more than halfway. Zipper, like the dragging thing on your window. All right. So the trick is to create escape route, or in this case, we actually have an escape route and we are just using it. Yeah, we are gonna go and cling to that gold. Then we're gonna go here and then we're gonna go there. So we're gonna totally evacuate from this point of issue. This is the point of issue, right? We're gonna leave it. Okay, you wanna attack their bishop? Okay, you stay there and I gonna go. So that's what we're doing. Yes, an escape artist, exactly. My Arrows Are Better book. So the main rule that the book is explaining is, instead of adding a piece to a place that has not many defenders, it's better to escape with the king into a safer spot. And as you see, by going here, we de facto re-entered the castle, right? Kinda. Boom, our king is in the castle, yeah. Yeah, and again, they won't have the way to break this castle because the bishop is like here. And because we've escaped into the castle, as you guys remember, we had the steps of Endgame. We had break the castle, get close to the king, surround, and so on. We kind of stepped back in that order, therefore slowing their attack. So don't defend where you don't have many defenders. That doesn't make sense much, but where you don't have numbers, I guess. Numbers is a word that we use for shogi for the piece advantage. Yeah, they had 2, we had 1. Numbers run instead. To a new castle, yeah. Pretty simple idea. Gyoku no Haya Nige, yes. Haya Nige, Haya, I think it's, oh god, Haya, and then Nigeru, which would be this kanji, I assume. Nige. I'm gonna delete it, this is horrible drawing. It means early escape, yeah. It's a very important proverb, even. Early escape is worth 8 moves, we have this proverb. It's a very important idea in the endgame that after your castle is broken, you can still survive by escaping, yeah? Okay, game number 2. Let's see what we have. This is a check, right? Clearly this is a check on our king. This is not Yokofudori. This is like a very weird opening. We had this dragon here being promoted. We have this rook here, but there is no pawn here. It's so weird. I have no idea. I would say Aigakari, but also... Anyway, so the question is, which piece do we retake this horse with? So we have, of course, 2 options. If gold takes, entering king is worth as victory. Yeah, sometimes, if you have enough points. If we take, the dragon comes in, right? Then the king will go here. But in the main game, they took it with the king. Then they promoted. We continue attacking with knight drop. Knight drop here. King runs to here. Okay. So it's gonna be this. So I guess maybe what they're trying to say is like, you know, king 5-9, that's gonna be on the bottom. Bottom king, back rank king is something we don't wanna have. It's a very low shape. It's drawing, yeah. So instead we're gonna go up. And yes, they will be able to take this gold for free, but we will be able to create checkmate threat, Tsumero. And therefore it's gonna be ite make for the opponent. Yeah, so king takes, of course, that's the exposure. So you would think that the enemy did the right thing. They exposed our king into the open. But we talked about this during the previous chapter as well. Exposure, the weakness of that is that it allows escape sometimes. And this is what's happening here. As in page 141, we're gonna try to go 141. Like here we had, if we were to go down, the king was dying. But if we went here, we had more space. So the same idea will be here. The king will have so much more space around here. Yeah, if you look closely, it can even go there if it survives long enough. Hello, Kaeski. All right, speaking of the detailed way, knight promotion will lead to dragon check, king runs, call drop to 5-2. Basically, it's gonna lead to a mate, but it's not that simple. The book says that it's mate, so we're gonna go there. Wanna keep watching, but I have my schedule to practice. Yeah, TTK. Yeah, on Saturday, right? 2 UTC was it, I think. Yeah. See you later, Mifa. Good luck. On our king, we will have both, like king going here or pound push, gonna allow us to survive a little bit longer. Therefore, yeah, one move win. All right, position number 3. We have Yagura on both sides. This is Yagura Castle Fortress. The problem for Sente is, you know, the king usually would be here, but there is a hungry horse over here, the fiery horse that we saw before, and he's being thrown away from the castle. So the castle is kind of broken, yeah? The situation is that the king safety, like the shape of the king difference is big, so we cannot go for mutual attack, yeah? So weak king equals no mutual attack. Because mutual attack means we're gonna give them a lot of pieces. Mutual attack means we're gonna lose by tempo, because to begin with, our king is weaker. Yeah? The keys were getting too loud. All right. So, what do? We will have to think. I got scared because I turned on the fan and there's pieces of paper stuck on my door and they started flying, and I'm like, oh my god, ghost. But no, this is just pieces of paper. We will have to extend our king's life again, and the idea is that what Mifa likes, we would like to enter the king. How do we do that? Well, once we have this idea, it becomes clear that promoted silver, taking away this pawn, will allow early escape. Yeah, so we created a route, an escaping route to the top. And the reason was here that we thought that to checkmate a king means to limit its movement, so here we give it more movement, and therefore we... Okay, it's gonna be complicated. more movement for king equals preventing battlefield reduction. So basically we won't get surrounded. Yeah, those were the terminologies that we used before, so I'm gonna keep it this way. But yeah, basically we're gonna live forever because yeah, we're gonna go into ocean. Yeah, and the king goes. Here we go. The king. Yeah, ocean. He's happy on the sand. That's not how sand looks like. Ocean, sun, sunset, whatever, and there is the lens. Surprised that somebody joined him on the leisure. Yep. Okay, next one. We have king here, and they're trying to counter our escape with a silver drop, right? Which was the sealing of the escape route. They didn't mention it, did they? No. They're just like, boom, take this variation. So they're using the target the gold strategy with the silver. Target the pillar, right? But then we move our king up and it will be unstoppable. Yeah, so as an effect, this king is going further and further away from those pivotal pieces. Yeah, it's running away from that horse. And it's going into ocean. And the Nyugaku is not a dream anymore. Entering king is not a dream. Going away from pivotal pieces. Okay. There's written here, if they drop a pawn, we take it sideways. They will... Where'd this come from? Huh? Oh, no, it's from this one. Okay. Okay, so it was... They made it very confusing, but basically, in this position, they dropped the silver. No, they dropped the pawn. We took it. They dropped the knight. We went back. They took the silver. We retook it. And then the silver that they got, they redropped here. And this is where we play king move. Which follows, they're gonna take the gold. We take it. They're gonna attack the head of our knight. But instead of defending, we're gonna start going up. So this is the opposition to push the king to the back rank, yeah? Therefore, we are king saved forever, yeah? King safety acquired or whatever. Seven, eight knight. 7, 8 knight? 7, 8 knight here, right? So again, we don't want to use pieces in defense. We want to simply move our king away because that costs nothing. And it's gonna have... We're gonna keep pieces for the attack. and we do not create a heavy shape around that horse. We rather like escape lightly, which makes this technique very beautiful in this situation. Yeah, so 7-8 knight in this position. I'm confused about the order. Ah, I see. So for example, if they go the same way, 7-8 knight, pawn drop, they will take, right? I'm not gonna draw everything. They take, we fork, we go back. They take, we take, and then they're gonna attack the head of this knight here. What's going to happen is you will get surrounded from here and from here. The only way to win in this situation would be to go for mutual attack. But we've already established King's safety is, they are much safer, so mutual attack will lose. That's the strategical point of view here. So we would arrive at this position, we would lose. Yeah. So instead, we want to try to raise this king's safety by escaping up and up and up and up. Yeah. And we're kind of winning without a fight, honestly. Yeah. This is a very cool way to do it and very efficient way. Because once the king is here, we can take all the time we want to break this king position. And this is what we need. All right. Let me see if the kids went away. They are much more silent, so that's good. All right, so this picture here is gonna tell us that here is dangerous. Well, zone or area. So it is important. So it is important to escape quickly or early. To a place like this. If I were to translate it literally, it's what it says. So yeah, this would go with the idea of bringing the king closer to your own defenders, right? So once your king is in dangerous situation, before it is tsumi or hishi, before tsumi, before checkmate. Tsumi is not something we translate. It's stupid. It's stupid. Tsumi is something we translate to checkmate, and hishi is something we keep in Japanese. Yeah, escape. Life extension. So we have to do it before. Yeah, we have to realize, oh, it's almost that point. Now is the time to use all those crazy techniques. And the techniques we're using here is escaping and creating the escape route, which is kind of the same, but we had some small differences. Those are the key. And the most important thing is don't get surrounded. And don't limit the king, so don't let limit the king be. Because once the king movement becomes 0, that's checkmate, right? So the less space we have, the more chances the opponent have to checkmate us. So the most dangerous place for the king will be the back rank or the edge. Yeah. Edge. Back rank. Avoid. Kanji. All right, I need to translate those two. I cannot select. Thank you. Isolation. Let's add it. Isolation. So in order to avoid it, we have go to white space or go toward defenders. This is the basics of the escape. Yeah, and of course we will have the escape, create the escape route, which is gonna be very important. All right, then we have the last page, and this I believe is our SER, the escaping route creation. So action, make escape route. Create promote pieces. We had this token that created an escape route for our king by promoting, right? The kids are back. Aite no fu o. I guess this is Kiri. It's just very weird kanji. Take enemy pawn. So this one goes to the promoted silver deck 6-4 example today, where we just created an escape route by deleting the pawn wall, right? So the book, of course, didn't make a mistake by writing the word merit. Of course, there was no mistake here. The promoted knights, painted it correctly. That's what we established 2 weeks ago. So the merit is the battlefield is wider. I keep getting spooked by those papers. Our king has more movement. And finally, cannot get surrounded, I think. Let's translate it as that. Kari? No, Kari. Kari. Ah, this kanji. Karitoru. Karitoru. To reap, to harvest, to mow. Yeah, it's taking, yeah. Thanks. To mow the enemy pawns. That sounds more dramatical. That's the wrong pen. So the create an escaping route, creates escape route. It's a very good move, blah, blah, blah. And it's gonna widen the battlefield, make our king move to more spaces, therefore cannot get surrounded. As an effect, Yoseru. Yose becomes distant. Or more distant. So Yose meaning approach the king, so checkmate basically becomes more distant. We slow down the enemy. So as the creation of the route goes on, he wants you to think about escaping up. And the Chudangyoku. than Gyoku. That's called Middle King. This is something that appeared in Hidechi's video. Basically, it's a king in the middle of the board, and it's really hard to capture. I mean, it goes with this idea that once the king is in the corner, it has 3 moves to go. Once it's on the side of the board, he has 5 or something. If it's in the middle, it has 8. So the best position will be the middle one. And again, you want to use this technique before your core, your castle is... no. It's also an interesting technique to use before your castle is attacked. So yeah, we had those examples when we had like a full castle and we just whoop, 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 retreat early. So yeah, you can use it in many situations, but it's the most valuable endgame technique you can have. It extends your king's life. So even if your castle is broken, do not give up. Maybe this is when the real fight begins. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, the king, as we said, is going to fight himself with the sword, even if it means that he's going to escape half of the board away from his allies. Well, this is the final battle time, yeah? It's the final countdown. Let's go, yeah? All right, that was the end of the chapter. We would start another one. We would start a little bit of this one. It's called Muteki no Kosei or something. Kosei? Building. The no enemy construction building. Kochiku, actually. Kochiku. Okay. So the word Muteki is kind of a funny word. Basically, it means invisible. Okay, there is invisible, but it's invincible, right? In my English, invincible. Muteki. Am I writing? Yes, invisible. I cannot pronounce it correctly. I'm pretty sure it's... Give me a sec. Let's see. Invincible. Okay. Invincible. Okay, let's go with that. Invincible. What is that to? To? This is talking. To is promoted pawn. This is a pawn, so this is a promoted pawn. Those are the most scary. Those are the stabby pawns, basically. A pawn that has a stabby Hollow Knight. Why are you holding it like that? Stabby. Yeah. Hollow Knight nail. That's the talking. That's the most terrifying piece you can have. All right. So invincible construction, I guess. Let's call it a shape, maybe, because I mean structure makes sense in shogi to have shape. Building shape. Let's call it a shape or construction. I don't want to call it construction. Doesn't make sense in shogi. Okay. So muteki means no enemy, basically. This is why it's so cool. So we talked about many different ways to defend in shogi so far. I cannot read those kids. They having some... Today is like very hot. Like yesterday night we had a thunderstorm again. It's like super hot. And they're like outside and having some water plays and they're like like shouting on the whole lungs. Ah, the beauty of living next to a kindergarten. All right. So yeah, it's important to create this defensive shape before we get to that part that we talked about, the final battle. So how do we create king safety even more? We're gonna learn in this chapter. Here window. Here window. I'm confused. Are you talking about my window or are you talking about the user code window? Okay. Okay, kata no something extremely. Okay, I need to translate this kanji. Kyokuteki, the ultimate. Okay, the ultimate. The ultimate goal of the defensive side is to avoid the tsumi, the checkmate, to prevent it. Ultimate goal. Avoid checkmate, of course. Hi. So, on king, 絶対に詰まない to make it completely unmatable or unapproachable. If it happens, then we have no way to lose, right? Because it's the only way we can lose. But to arrive at that situation, what should we do? Let's start with the conclusion. It is possible. So it's quite difficult. But once you are able to utilize it in your games, your king won't be dying. So, how to make a position where we will be in this amazing, unmatable state, undying state? The zombie. Time Zombie, finally here, undying. Time Zombie is one of our biggest shogi streamers. Yeah, all right. Let me just summarize it in one word. Undying king. Yeah, sure. Mummy. How? Okay. Number 1, entering king. Our favorite, entering king. But we talked about it already. Yeah. Entering king is truly undying. In position number 1, we have endgame position. It says number 1, but this is number 2. So I'm very confused. Okay, this was number 1. Why do you make me scroll like this, book? Okay, let me read this first. So we are in Sumero, checkmate threat, plus we cannot repair our castle. And of course we are slower, yeah? We are slower because they have Anaguma. So in this position, they are here. We need like 1-2 moves to create, or 1-2 moves to create checkmate threat. They have checkmate threat in 1, apparently. Yes, because there's the 2 rook. So take would be a mate in few moves. So what should we do? We cannot repair the castle because there's no square to do it. We're gonna run. Yeah, we're gonna run with our king here. We're gonna take the pawn and we're gonna run again. Whip, whip. So an escape is clear. If they're gonna promote here, we still gonna escape up. This is a pinch defense. If they try to surround your king here by dropping the silver, we're gonna take it with the gods. Whoa, thank you, Scurvy, for Prime. Welcome to the harbor. Oh, guys, if you didn't know, I don't know if you know about our Discord. We always ping you when there are some Shogi streamers on Twitch. So you wanna get the always notified role if you like to watch those Shogi streams. And thank you so much, Scurvy. The king will escape. We're gonna sacrifice the horse, and the king will escape to 5-5. And therefore send a Yoku wa Yoranai. So our king cannot be approached. So de facto checkmated, yeah? Approach is just this fancy Japanese word that has hard translation. Basically, nobody can touch it. So yeah, once we enter our king, entering king means, you know, we enter the enemy camp. And because most of the shogi pieces attack forward, it's really hard to capture it. And also, as you noticed, Scurvy, we have those tokens all around, which means we have those very cheap pieces with the movement of a gold, and we can continue creating them, well, as long as we have a pawn. So it's really hard to approach the king in there. Therefore, we call it unlosable shape, or the invincible shape, yeah? And next we have king goes to 5-4 and 5-3. If it goes here, it's surrounded by a blanket of golds, and it's gonna be unapproachable. We lost the horse, but the king is safe, yeah? Lost the horse, but king is safe. All right, so this was quite easy to understand example, yeah? We just flew into the enemy camp and we're fine. The entering king is escape. It's type of the escape, I guess. Action plan to shite wa. The action plan is to escape. It's the same as escaping technique that we saw before, but okay, they wanted us to look at page 139, but we just looked at it. So I think it's the one when he went up. So he will explain what's the rule about the entering king, what's the points you have to be careful about when going for that technique, the principle, okay. Okay. So why is it difficult to capture the entering king? It's because the attack king and the defenders, the relation will become opposite. I don't know what it means yet, so we're gonna see. Okay, this talks about different things. I think they're trying to explain a simple idea but make it too difficult. Basically, they're saying if your king is in the entering situation, the ways to attack are limited. So as we said, we can create the tokens here, but we cannot create the same tokens here because that's our promotion zone, right? We cannot make them. Limited attacking options. The basics are Semegawa Yuri no rule. The attacker is better? Really? Semegawa Yuri advantages rule. I mean, if you think about it, the only way you can win the game is by attacking, so attacker is advantageous. F advantage. Sorry, talking. The factor that is remarkable. The component that shows this is the talking, yeah. Okay, I don't want to translate it sentence by sentence, but basically, when we're attacking, we are able to create tokens. When we're defending on here, we are able to create tokens, yeah? That's what is it about. I already talked about this. And yeah, the pieces will like turn around and it will be hard to use them. So for example, pawns, yeah? We are not able to use pawns apart from those two squares. We are not able to use the pawn here to help us attack, right? So this is what they want you to notice. So pieces don't do well backwards. Plus talking advantage. Let's call it talking advantage simply. We can create tokens, they cannot create tokens. This is why they have easier way attacking here, because they can. And here we have easier defending because we can. By talking advantage means we have the ability to create tokens, yeah? Not that we have more. So, as we talked about in 1 to 3, I assume that's the chapters. The 3 weaknesses of a castle. Do you guys remember the weaknesses of a castle? Do you guys remember the edgelord? This is where he comes back. So we have king's head, the ear. This is the way you can directly attack the enemy king, yeah? People who don't remember edgelord, it was big-headed king with big ears. And he's called edgelord because edge itself is a weakness, and he had the most unpassionate looking face. Yep, and he's like, hi. Hi. So this was the edgelord. So 3 weaknesses of the castle: head, ears, and the edge, therefore edgelord. For example, in diagram 6, the one on the left, we have the lance on 2-4, a very painful punch. On the left, we have the combination attack. Combination, not combination, the ear attack. So yeah, it's quite stabby attack here, right? We can clearly see because this pawn is pinned because of this horse. So it's quite stabby looking. This one isn't this... Okay, it is also quite painful, yeah, on the king's head, because there is both horse and the rook. So both of those are a weakness of the castle. The castle will be destroyed. For example, on top left, we have lance promotion and then pawn push. If they take, we take. Pawn promotion undefendable. On the diagram on the left, we have pawn promotion. Whatever they retake, pawn drop again. very, very painful again. If the king goes to the left, pawn drop will happen. So those 2 points, the head and the ear of the king, are weak points. So that's our what we remembered from the previous chapters. But let's see at the entering king situation, yeah? That weakness, the edgelord, he disappears. And for the attackers, it's a big problem. Okay, so necess disappear. He looks like peeing. Let's not do that. Okay, edgelord. Weaknesses disappear. And then we have the fact, the second thing will be that lances, knights, and pawns will be useless. Yeah, so there will be sad sitting together. The pawn won't be happy because his knife is somewhere else. The lance is not happy because it's still... Lance is always useless. And the knight will be here because he cannot jump, yeah? So they're having a meeting talking about how did we allow the king to run so far away? Why didn't we do anything to stop him? Yep. They're useless. Yeah, the king doesn't have the stabby power. The pawn doesn't have stabby power. Very, very sad situation. So yeah, you can understand now how strong the entering king is. How much trouble gives it to the attacker. Our Komaru. Our warrior. 3 ways to worry your attackers. Yeah, number 1, Yu-Gyoku. Troubled. Let's see. Hello, Darian Bennett. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, no weakness, attacking pieces useless, and we can create, we have the talking advantage. So those are the 3 things. For now. All right, for the entering king to be successful, you need many things to happen. Things, this kanji. That's what I translate as things, but the things are blessings or benefits. Okay, fine. Many blessings might have happened. So it's not always possible to enter the king, right? Korega, something. There's 2 kanji I don't understand, and I can guess 1 kanji meaning, I cannot guess 2 of them. Purpose, broken, hopeless case. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the hopeless cases. Yeah, when we cannot enter. So in the position 8, we have many ways to like escape, right? We can go to 7-3. But what's going to happen after that? Can we see? Our enemy has a silver and gold in hand. Can you guys like see those moves? Yeah, the main question is where should we go? Should we enter or should we not? We're talking about situations when cannot we enter, so this should give you an idea that probably we cannot enter here. With no pieces in hand, enemy has gold and silver. What would you do, guys? What's the idea, chat? Interesting. Yeah. I repeat again. We have no pieces in hand. They have 2 generals. That's the main point of this variable, this example. Toad, do you have an idea? You couldn't hear. Why is the king so far ahead? Because we're talking about the entering king currently. Entering king is when the king enters the enemy zone. And we just established that it's a very good shape because it limits your opponent attacking options. But now the question is, can we enter or not? Can we go to one of those squares? Or should we not? Yeah, the king must retreat to avoid mate. So what's going to happen if we enter, for example, here? They're gonna drop a silver. Yeah, here. And because they have gold in hand, and we have nothing, given the only way to like avoid would be to go sideways, but each of those ends up with gold drop or gold drop or gold drop, depending on where the king is. So this position is called hishi. So unavoidable mate. So we just walked into our death, speaking in human language. So this is hishi. So we're gonna explain now the general pattern. Let's see. This is a very extreme example. Okay, this explains the movement. Okay. Let's click on there. When cannot we enter? So this is the single horseman again. Not the single horseman. I see. So the king is alone, and therefore he has no supporters in here, right? King is alone. He's the alone horseman. Therefore, he's being captured, yeah, or surrounded easily. So that's gonna be the point important. So when you think about entering king, you have to remember about everything we learned in the escape chapter, including the creating the escape ping route. So if you cannot like create an escaping route, even if you create the entering king, this is not the undefendable shape anymore. Okay, it's a very complex way to write it, Mr. Author, but lonely king is not invincible, right? Basically. So even though our king entered the zone, and we call it entering king, he has no supporters, he's going to die alone anyway. He's going to be captured, yeah? So now we're gonna probably build upon it that we do need some defenders around him, so let's see. Oh yeah, and by the way, the correct answer is, of course, to go back. like one of those squares, because that would be a checkmate. Yeah, they're not gonna mention it. But yeah, compared to the previous example, we had pieces around our king. Yeah, therefore we talk about entering king, which is, this is the rare case where we cannot enter. Yeah, keep that in mind. A lone king's not going to survive in the enemy camp like that. Saigoni, the last one will be, if the enemy enters with their king, what should we do against it? In diagram 10, this king is really hard to capture, right? What would you guys do in this situation, yeah? So we're talking about like the extreme cases. So we will go with the knight drop here. Our king is completely safe, that's important, right? Our king is safe, it has these whole defenders. But if we don't manage to capture this king, we're not gonna win. We have to somehow capture this king. How do we do it? Well, knight drop, they're gonna take it with the token, means we have a gold drop. Yeah, the king would have to go back, and therefore this horse effect becomes stronger. So instead they will go to the side. They will go to the side, we'll drop the gold that we had in hand, sorry. They take, we take. So we're gonna take off this dragon of the board. We're gonna lose this gold as an effect, but what's happening is they cannot go to Gyoku or Yoseru koto wa dekinai shikashi. All right. If anybody is a shogi beginner, this is gonna break your mind. I'm sorry. So it's gonna be very difficult chapter, it seems. We start with the fact that entering king will be unmatable. Yeah, it will be invincible shape. We talked about how to get there. So we had an example. We had to explain why is it beneficial. We had the token advantage. We had the no weak point. We had the attackers. Then we talked about extreme case. When cannot we enter? And now we're talking about another extreme case, which is gonna be a way to win against entering king, and it's gonna be win by points. And winning by points, it's like a rule that not many beginners know. It's a situation where both sides enter their king, and how do you decide the game? By counting points. So in this case, we've taken off the dragon. So we've gained 5 points, which is gonna be huge. And we're probably gonna lead to win. But just that is very difficult to understand. So just believe me, yeah? The fact that we've taken the dragon is a huge deal in this position. Yeah, the college class. Yeah, this is Thursday streams are very, very complex, I have to admit, but the idea behind this that someone has to do it. Yeah, we have those advanced players, we're trying to create new content. I know there's not many viewers each time, but I don't mind. I'm also learning a lot by reading it myself. For beginners, it is very difficult. Maybe I should be making another lecture about it, but I also think there are other streamers who do a great job, like Jen was doing Sumishogi yesterday, like free moves once. Yeah, and if you guys wanna do easier stuff, I recommend our Saturday and Sunday streams, where we analyze your games or like analyze, like study together. If you have any question on Saturday, we can look into it more seriously. But this book, not gonna lie, is really hard, and this particular chapter, this particular paragraph is really hard, so I apologize. But yeah, if you're thinking about leveling up from beginner level, this is something you need to understand about Shogi, definitely. The double entering king rule. If you're motivated enough. So the point is, again, they cannot capture our king. Without dragon. And we're gonna win by point difference, because we will have 15 points and we need like what, 20, no, 31 actually, right? Depending on which server you're playing on, it's gonna be a different number. But basically we're halfway there if we do so. Yeah, we almost have like 31. So we're gonna have much easier time. We're gonna pick up those pieces over here. Yeah, it's gonna be, this is not very shogi like at the end. It's a mathematics type of thing. Yeah, so if you have 3 big pieces, we are not scared about long fight. And we're gonna go for entering king as well, yeah. Lot of power. And then target is to enter the king. Basically, we crushed our enemy and we're gonna win by points. So that's the endgame rule here. Oh, we're already at the computer examples. Okay, here we go. Computer examples. Which means this chapter is really short. In diagram 12, let's see. Both sides have pivotal pieces. Pivotal pieces are basically those pieces that stabbing into the king of the enemy. So those are those 2 pieces that stabbing. Yeah, this one is stabbing here, this one is stabbing here. We both have them. And Gote's side, meaning this side, is closer to the king than center. If I understand correctly. Tada Gote no kata yori teki nichaka yeah. Alright, so because they're closer to our king, we cannot win by mutual attack. They are closer to our king. No mutual attack possible. Yeah. So what should we do in this position? Rei Kiriyama, yeah. 3月のライオン. We have many Sangatsu no Ryan fans on our server as well. Run? Yes, Jen, yes. Run. We're gonna run early. They're gonna unpromote the silver here to attack the gold. But we're gonna enter the king, right? We're gonna just bloop 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 into there. They ate our pieces. They're gonna eat this one, they're gonna eat this one, they're gonna eat this one. But the king is going to run, as we said, king sacrificing everything on the way, right? The price is bishop and gold, but the king is the undying shape. Undying king for bishop and gold, yeah. So we distracted the dragon. He's like, wah, 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 eating everything. But we are like, haha, walked into the enemy camp, yeah. Also, notice how we ate this lance here, this one, so that our king has easier way marching in. So yeah, once you realize that the king is in invincible shape, that loss of pieces doesn't feel so bad anymore. Of course, we can argue, but hey, Gotha has 3 pieces now, and what about they enter? And but their king is also vulnerable. So unlike the example from before, where our king was literally like in Iron Castle, this one is under attack from the dragon, and we didn't lose the attacking piece. We lost the like the bishop. Yeah, the dragon is still there. We still can win. No, I cannot beat Kiriyama. I mean, he's an anime character. You cannot beat anime characters. But... if his strength level is of a pro, like a male pro, I cannot beat him. Okay, 9 there. So once you cannot like defend anymore, going for Enduring King is good. Yeah. Did I write it? No. Oh yeah, I did write. Okay. Maybe no defense. Entering King considerable. Okay. I'm gonna save it. Okay, yeah, so here we had like this saying that king escaped, they unpromoted, we ate the lands, they took the gold, we escaped, they took the bishop, we escaped. By taking the pawn, actually. No, going 9-4, never mind. 9-4, they took the lands, we escaped here. Yep. Alright, diagram 14. Let's see. So this time they have an entering king, right? So what do you guys remember about entering king? We had to fight by the points. We had to somewhat, perhaps, if we can prevent it. But can we, yeah? Suru koto wa muzakashi. So preventing the entering king is difficult. Cannot prevent entering king, yeah? Because they used create escaping routes, yeah? They used it, they're just escaping, there's no stopping him. But what can we do instead? We gonna take this pawn, and we're gonna take this knight, and eventually we're gonna promote this knight here by taking the silver. And we're gonna like punch them from behind. So the good way is to don't try to do the impossible, yeah? Don't try to approach king when it is impossible. Stop it, Jen, you're making me hungry. I'm actually very hungry right now. It's only 10 o'clock. And once we've gathered all those pieces behind, we are able to think once more about approaching that. It is probably impossible, though, to win by checkmating the king. So, so instead of checkmate, win condition becomes point win rule, whatever. So it's, I don't know how many points. Was it 27 on 81 dojo? Like in pro game would be 31. So basically we don't think about checkmating anymore. We're just thinking how to get those points. And therefore, what counts in that point win rule is, yeah, taking many pieces. Every time we take a piece for free, it's +1 point. Yeah. Every time we take big piece, that's +5. So this is why eating the pawn, the knight, the silver gave us 3 points. They actually retook our knight, so that's like 1 for 1, so it's 3. But then we're able to take this, it's 4. Yeah. And look how many pieces we have in hand right now. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's gonna be 20 already. And all we have to do is somehow exchange those pieces for the enemy pieces. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 28. Very, very close to win, depending on which server you play on. Yeah, so once you enter your own king, that's gonna be very helpful to have this point advantage. Yeah. So they trying to create their king safety. We're gonna try and enter. That's the plan here. All right. That's the end of this short, very, very short chapter. Oh, the next chapter is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be the Zetto. And it's literally letter Z, but it sounds cooler in Japanese, the Zetto. Speaking on invincible shapes, right? This was the entering king, and this will be the Zetto. Let's see how long this chapter is. I don't want to get into this today if it's too much. Oh god, there's so many things. Oh god. Okay, so that's gonna be the second and the last invisible shape. Maybe we can start it a little bit today. Maybe we can, but just explain what it is. Okay, Zetto. So also it's the invincible shape. Number 2. Yeah. And this is a very important skill that you need to have to win in Endgame. Zetto is a position where your king is in Zettai Nitsumanai, completely unwatchable shape. Maybe we should use a different letter in Shogi. Is it going to be in the test? Zetto, definitely. If there was any Shogi test ever, Zetto would be there. Zetto definitely would be there. So let's learn. Zettai Tsumanai. Jokyo. Okay. Situation. Position. So Zettai Tsumanai means Zettai is like completely. Absolutely. Which of those starts with Z? Please tell me. Unconditionally. Definitely. Unmistakable. Yeah, absolutely. No. Mate. Yeah. Maybe we should change it with letter A. And it's gonna be alpha and omega, and it's funny. So if you look at letter Z, you have to think letter A. It's so stupid. I'm trying to come up with something cool. The only thing I think about when thinking Z is Zorro. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know what a Zorro is, but it was this Robin Hood character that every time, I think he had like, showing you would be faster. Zorro. It's so far away that I don't even think it's a real thing anymore. This is Zoro. He had this, how do you call that? That sword. I don't know how we call it, raspier or something. And he would go like, oh, he was Antonio Banderas? Ah, cool. So he would go like Z on their enemies. Zero. No, Zorro. Why did I write Zero? Yeah, that's better. Yeah, he would write like the Z on them. But I don't know how it connects with Shogi. We will have to figure it out. Maybe there is a piece with the fictional character. Yeah, that fights against tyrannical officials and other villains, corrupt and tyranny. Yeah, so he's like Robin Hood, kinda. So if Zorro Mark. It's actually a movie with this title. Yeah, something like this. Z, basically. With this exact sound. Alright, so now that you guys know what a Zorro is, that's the yeah. If you manage to pull up a Zorro on your enemy, you're gonna win, yeah? We're gonna call it Zorro. I don't care. I don't care. This is Zorro now. So Zorro is actually the king. Because the king has to be in unmatable shape. No, the eyes should be more in the middle. So remember the king with the sword before? This time he's gonna have a raspier. Here you have the final battle, Zorro mode. Yeah, the secret identity of the king. Antonio Banderas. Alright. So that Taitsumane. So this is opposite from Mugyoku, kinda, or different. Different approach. Then we are not creating an invisible shape, but it's like a temporally invisible shape. So temporarily. I have no idea how to write that word. Tsumari, semeni, okay. So this is the highest level in the attacking phase or something. This is totally like a technique that you should know because it's used in every situation. Every time you attack, okay, so now we're gonna like explain more. Every time you attack in Shogi, you give away pieces to the enemy, right? If you give too many, they're gonna use it against you. And it happens like, oh no, I gave my enemy a knight and he checkmated me with it. This type of situation, it always happens. But Zetto, in this type of position, that risk of giving away pieces and getting checkmated is very, very, well, impossible, like zero basically. So yeah, that's gonna be important. So attack equals giving pieces to your enemy equals they might counter attack, but Zetto eliminates it. So you can attack as much as you want. Let's do one example today. In diagram 1, you had king. Again, I have to scroll. In diagram 1, they need to play this move to next checkmate our king, right? So they need one more move. But in that situation, they cannot create a check on our king. Look here. There's no way you can make check here. If you think of shogi pieces, rook, gold, silver, bishop, lance, pawn, knight, impossible, right? We have all those pieces around our king. He's safe. There's no way to create a check. No check possible. This is called zetto in this situation. That's the simplest example of zetto. There's no check possible. So because our king is safe, we can just go in like a crazy man. We're gonna sacrifice the horse for the gold. Gold takes. Okay, they're talking about a different line here. Okay. They're showing a really beautiful line, but it's hard to explain without the board. So we're gonna sacrifice this here, and this is checkmate red by knight drop. Just checkmate. It's dangerous. They have to take it. That's all you have to know. We take it, and then this knight, we drop it here. They have to take it, right? It's a check. And then we're gonna sacrifice all of our other pieces. We're gonna sacrifice the bishop, king takes, sacrifice this dragon, king takes, and we're gonna drop the silver. Stay with me. Keep that image in your mind. Keep that image. And we arrive at this position. We've gotten all those pieces. And your ding 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 endgame senses should tinkle now. Because if king takes, silver drop is a hishi. Hishi means if we get a move, we win whatever he does. So if this is invincible shape, this is undefendable shape. So they're explaining everything I just said. There's no defense for gote. So the thing you have to understand here, basically, if your king is in zetto, win by hishi is your target, and that means you can go suck everything. Sacrifice everything is possible. You can sacrifice everything because, once more, we're in absolutely unmatable shape. And this one is absolutely uncheckable shape. So, complete win, right? They can have half of the board in their hand. It's not gonna change the fact that they're losing. Seraph of the Wind is asking, are you fluent in Japanese, Karolina? If you know my name, you will probably know the answer to that, but no, I'm joking. Yes, to a certain extent. I wouldn't be able to read newspapers, I wouldn't be able to read novels, I wouldn't be able to use Keigo or whatever. I would have trouble understanding some words, but it's not like I'm unconfident in speaking or reading it. Shogi books are just readable for me. Even though I always forget, like, oh, what is this kanji? Like, I can guess to some extent. Nobody do it in hishi, yes. So, I want to call it uncheckable shape. Yeah, I want to make this distinction. It's like special. This is Karolina's theory. Special type of zetto, uncheckable shape. That's the how should we call it? XYZ. Yeah. How should we call it? This is one Z plus. Z plus. It's like the plus ultra of Z. Here you go. Okay. Yeah, so even if you don't understand, like, why is it hishi, what is hishi? They have no check, we have certain win. They cannot defend, we win. Yeah, so that's gonna be zetto, and we shall continue that next week. So now is the part where if you guys have any questions, I can ask them. My favorite question on those streams is, what is Zetto and what is invincible shape? Like the question about everything we did the whole 2 hours. But how much time did you took to learn Japanese? I started in Poland, learning from my Japanese friend. I even took some lessons, so I learned some katakana, hiragana, basic Japanese. Then I went live Japan for how many years? Like 9 years, more, 10. And I went to university there, learned Japanese again. So yeah, long time. But I never like strictly studied Japanology or whatever, no. I need to check something quickly. Time converter. I need to quickly check something. If you guys have questions, you can type it in the meantime. '27th. Okay. Did you like Japan? Teacher, have you made a Z? Like in my game? Definitely, yes. It's very useful technique. There are also specific types of Z. We're gonna learn it. There's like Z without diagonal piece or Z without the knight. So it means you can attack as long as you don't give them that piece. You can sacrifice a lot. You can create a hishi. Those are super useful techniques you definitely gonna use in your shogi games. Even if I know you guys might be beginners, but the earlier you learn this, the stronger, the faster, the stronger will you get, if it makes sense. Did you like Japan? Yes. Why did you move back from Japan? That's not an easy question to answer, and there are many, many reasons. Hi, Pinoy. Yeah, you definitely will, Darian. So remember, on Sundays, we analyze the games. You can send your game here. If you cannot go there personally, you can watch the VOD later. Basically, I'm gonna analyze your game on stream, give you some advice. If you're there personally, you can even like ask some questions, and then you can improve very quickly. Yeah, let me save this one. If you guys missed previous book streams, I'm gonna upload them to our YouTube channel over here, because you know Twitch like keeps the VODs only for a week, so I'm like uploading all the other VODs here. You can see in playlists we have this Endgame strategy book streams, and we have all the parts in different order. That's quite concerning. But yeah, they have like part 6, part 7, part 8. I wonder if can I or like change the order of them? I definitely should. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 I need to upload today, and 11 is gonna be tomorrow. I mean, or after a week. Do you like sailing? Yes, in fact, I do. I have a fiancé, as you may know. We sometimes go into... Well, we used to go to south of France and then take a boat and like sail a little bit. This year we're gonna go somewhere else, but still probably sailing will be fun. You're like, cool. Yeah, I even like took a... When I was like younger, I went on a sailing camp for 2 weeks and I got my license. I never used it. But yeah, I remember the basics basically. English language so difficult. Yeah, sailing. Good question. I didn't have anybody mention it. Thanks for staying, Window. Thanks so much. Tomorrow we might have an additional special stream because it's my birthday and we usually have a birthday stream during that time. And we do gaming. I just don't know exactly what time we will do it. But definitely I wanna play some games again. That's the tradition we have on this channel, so we're gonna do it. And then of course Saturdays, Sundays, I welcome you guys again in the afternoon Zurich time for more Shogi study. Yeah. So I don't see any more questions, and I will see you guys tomorrow and on the Discord as well. Thank you for coming, thank you for listening and engaging in the chat. Have a nice day. Yeah, bye bye.